I have been wanting to do this video for some time now. Honestly, I wanted to do it last week, but last week I had talked about forgiveness, and that was really important, really important. And even in some ways, it leads up to what I want to talk about today. And in this video, if this is the first time you're watching any of my videos, one, I want to say thank you. But two, probably everything that I have talked about in the past has sort of led up to this video right here. And so I wanted to talk about fear. And before you say, Arian, you talk about that a lot, or you mentioned that before, I'm going a little bit deeper today, and I want to share just a little bit more, because one, I've been afraid to do this particular video because I know that I wanted to share more details in terms of some of the battles that I am fighting when it comes to fear. And two, it took a lot for me to get in this space to be able to share these things. And my hope is me sharing these things will help somebody else, because I'm learning that, from what I understand, my assignment is to open my mouth and talk and share this journey as I'm building Hamtech, as I'm building some of our other businesses, becoming a man, dealing with the things that are going on around in the world. Obviously, being a husband, being a brother, all these things, just living life, the journey that comes with living life. And I've been in this retrospective space, and I feel like God has been giving me just a ton of answers in a lot of different areas. And so I believe I've shared before that one of my biggest fears for the longest time was dying like Martin Luther King. And when I say that, it's using my mouthpiece to say something, and because of what I say or what I share, that somehow leads to my death. And I battle with that for the longest, because me growing up in Atlanta, and this is just for me, I'm not saying this is for all Black people or whatever, but me growing up in Atlanta, Black History Month was not a celebration. It was actually very scary. It was a reminder every year that if you open your mouth, if you stand for something, even if it's morally right, in some ways, that will end in death. And for me, being called, or at least what I feel like God is calling me to do, to use my mouthpiece, that's one way to keep somebody quiet, right? Like if I start to do these videos, if I start to share or talk about the real me, then that may lead to death in somehow, some way. And that, for me, is one of the worst fears. Like, so yeah, it's being shot like MLK, but the ultimate one is dying. And so I had to learn how to accept, and I'm not going to go too deep in that part because people are in different spaces with this, but for me personally, I had to learn, or I'm still learning to accept that I will not be here on this earth one day. And the more that I start to accept that, the less I feel afraid to do the things that, again, I believe that God has called me to do. And one of those things is this. It's to share and talk. And so this is by freeing, or being freed in that regard, it allows me to do this. It allows me to do the video. And not only that, right? That's one thing. When I started this journey, it started to reveal a lot of things in me that I didn't realize. And I've mentioned this in past videos, but like just the idea that I am scared of a lot of things blows my mind because of how I grew up. Like I said, I grew up in the hood, and when you grow up in a space like that, you can't show like your weaknesses. At least that's what you're taught, right? Like you can't show that you're afraid. I remember back in the day, I'm like, don't get me wrong, I got into some fights, not promoting fighting or anything like that. But in my mind, each of those scenarios, I'm like, bro, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Please don't make me fight. And whatever. I'm not gonna go too deep into that because I don't want to promote whatever. Anyway, but it's like you grow up having that mask. You grow up having to put on, right? You grow up in this space, and you're like, you get used to it after a while. And so when you start to like look under the hood and realize all of those, or the mask that you built or the things that you built is not really built on anything, and you start to question these things, and it starts to reveal things. So like I said, realizing that I've been afraid of a lot of things. Some other things real quick. Disappointing my clients. Not being able to answer a question. Like so many different things. So many different ways. It's just like, yo, as I started talking, so many things just happened at once. I'm like, oh man, should I continue? I'm gonna continue. So yes. So dealing with essentially what others term as like imposter syndrome, right? So that's like another thing. And so anyway, there's so many others I can go down this road for. But what I'm realizing that because I've had these fears, like they've stopped me from doing what I have been called to do. And I'm like, no more. No more will that happen. My fears will not get in the way of doing what I am supposed to do, what I'm called to do, taking care of my family, taking care of the people that I'm supposed to work with, whatever that means, either Hamtech or whatever other businesses, how I'm supposed to serve and give and love. Like fear will not get in the way anymore. And one of the reasons why I wanted to share this video too is because there is so much going on in the world right now. And regardless of what side you stand on, fear can stop you. And I'm specifically saying for the good. I'm not promoting. If you're afraid of doing something bad, stay afraid of doing something bad. Okay, don't do that. But if you feel like, man, like me, like God has called you to do something, but it has been scary, you've been afraid to step out, whether it's like starting that business, going back to work, talking to somebody that you're supposed to talk to, doing a sales call, like whatever that thing is, we can't allow this fear to stop us anymore. We gotta do it. As we see again in the world, there's so much going on. Who knows what will happen tomorrow? And not that that's the motivator, but it's just like, we gotta get it done. I gotta get it done. I have to do these videos. We gotta make it happen. We can't allow fear to stop us anymore. There's so much more I want to share. But until next time. Yeah.